Today we're talking about relationships and asking the question, how much do you have to change in order to make a relationship work?
That's the million-dollar question.
There is compromise. Okay, so really what we're talking about is compromise. You do have to compromise some, but the question is, what should you not compromise?
I feel like that's such a case-by-case situation. It's so hard because sometimes it's like, okay, so this is not healthy. You can blatantly see something is not good. So do you, A, get out while you can, B, stay with the person and work through it, or C, try to talk about it and like see if that person's willing to like, but it's like
depends what the issue is.
Yeah.
How severe it is.
And the thing is, I never know personally, like I never know when's the staying point, when's the going point. I think personally when it's like a fight or flight situation, I'm a flighter. Anyways, I'm flying off. I don't stay in a relationship very long.
But some people would ask you, do you not stay in a relationship because you're a perfectionist? Do you demand perfection?
I think, like,
is that it?
10% perfection.
10%. Okay, what's the other 90%?
I just really don't see them as the type of person that I could respect long term, like as a husband, or like it's just like red flags, like a lot of red flags are coming up, and I'm just like, no, this is really not a healthy relationship.
So do you think that when the quote for you, ideal relationship occurs, you're not going to, first of all, you're not going to have that many red flags, but do you also think you're not going to have to change that much, that you'll be able to...
I think the thing is, I want something that's healthy, because for me, something that is healthy is when both people realize that there are hardships, but you're working through it together and you're able to talk about things like in an open manner, not like one person's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to say this to the person. Another person's like, oh, I really don't like this about this person, but neither of them are talking to each other about it. That to me is like, no, not good. I want someone who is mature, can handle an argument, but isn't going to just like run away or walk away.
Yeah.
Is that too much? Is that a unicorn? I don't know.
No, that part I don't think is too much. I don't think it's too much to ask for somebody who will talk to you and talk through things.
Yeah.
That you should never compromise on. But there are going to be things you have to compromise on. And I know that for me, after 32 years of marriage, I didn't have any idea of the things that I would have to compromise on. But most of the areas of where I've had to compromise have to do more with my comfort, like my comfort level, like where we would live, when we would move, those type of things. Never did I have to compromise in the area of who I am and a strong value that I have.
Yeah, but the thing with guys, though, they're not really good communicators to begin with.
Not all men. Some men are good communicators.
Yeah.
But it is true that women are more verbal for the most part, and we can definitely out-talk the men. And a lot of times, and even your father will say this, it's like he'll say that it's just me talking. And I'm like, no, I don't just use extra words to try to out-talk you. I think we try to find the right words to say what we want to say, and we have a lot of words to choose from. But, you know, for example, that's an area that I have not had to compromise on. I am still definitely myself when it comes to that with your dad. And your dad is still definitely himself. He's not a very verbal man. He's not really extremely talkative.
But you guys do have conversations.
We have conversations, but we've had seasons in our life where it's easier to talk, and some seasons of our life where maybe the talking doesn't flow as easily. What did I have to give up about myself and the essence of who I am? I don't think I've had to really compromise things that have to do with my personality. I didn't have to change my personality, but I have had to change maybe my desires, the things that I want, some of my ideals, like ideally I would like this and I can't get the ideal. But compromise, I think the thing is that a lot of people don't know what they should not have to give up. And you should know the things that you should never have to compromise. You may not know the areas that you will need to compromise, but there should be some absolutes.
So I think sometimes people don't necessarily put the value in things that they should. Like, must be a good communicator. Must be a good somebody who's empathetic, like, because you're gonna be going through lots of ups and downs in your marriages. You're gonna need somebody that's gonna empathize with you, be able to listen to you, a good listener, be able to support you.
But do you really think somebody will always be a good listener?
No.
Do you think they'll always be compassionate or empathetic?
No, but I'd like to think they could be.
Well, I think you just need to know what you won't compromise on. People don't change in the area of their personality. And in fact, we often don't even change the patterns that we've gotten into. It's hard to change a pattern.
That's scary.
Yeah, well, it depends on what the pattern is. You have a pattern of relating, or a pattern, like a passive-aggressive pattern gets developed, and that's very
not
hard to
good.
get out of.
Yeah.
So your personality, no, that's not going to change, but you will have to compromise on when you get something. I think the thing is that when you meet a couple and you see a joy in their relationship, you see a light in their eyes, you see life, you see encouragement, then you realize they did not compromise anything worthwhile. They did not let go of something worthwhile. They still get to be who they are. They get to encourage each other. That's a healthy relationship. If you meet somebody, though, let's say you knew somebody who was an artist and they married somebody who was like, why do you have to keep, doing all that dabbling in paint and, that's not anything. And then they gave up their painting and they gave up, anything artistic because it made their spouse angry. That's a bad compromise. You should not have to, that's a bad sacrifice. You should not have to sacrifice something like that. So when you're dating, you want to make sure that the things that are really important to you and how you express yourself, that somebody can accept that.
Yeah.
That's why when you're dating right now, it's good to let a guy see, who you are.
I like Cheetos, lying on the beach, and steak. Can we deal with this?
You're going to learn things about the guy that you're dating. You're going to learn the things that they care about, and you might learn to enjoy, for example, fly fishing. You might learn to do more traveling because somebody else likes it. And you might change. Let's say you're a really sedentary person, and then you start to become more active. That's good. Those are good compromises and good changes. But as far as your personality, when you're dating, let somebody see what you're all about, because you don't want to have to change who you are just to make somebody happy.
Bottom line, don't compromise on your core self, values, personality, but be open to change in certain areas, and you have to be flexible. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good word. Be flexible as to how you're going to live your life in terms of where you'll live, when you'll live at a certain place, things like that. But don't ever change who you are, what you really care about. Those things should stay set in your life.
Like a rock. I think we have some possibility here.
You do?
We have the potential for a relationship. And we'll see you next time. Bye.